By the time this video goes up, we will already have our community transmission, our patch notes for the upcoming Battlefront 2 update that should bring us the original trilogy to Supremacy and co-op, and some other surprises because apparently there are some things we don't know about that are being added. So yeah, I'm making this video a little late. I should have made this video a couple days ago, but I was busy. If you consider grinding Kingdom Hearts 1 busy. Yeah. Either way, I thought it'd be fun to make a video from a sort of new player's perspective, talking about what I want to see from this new update, like the day before we get the community transmission. So the first big thing that I don't think they're going to reveal one day before the update, this would be something I think they hype up, although they might hint to it soon, because people found an animation in the game of a female dual-wielding person. I am really hoping that it's Sabine from Star Wars Rebels, and the reason I want that is because the light side currently doesn't have any jetpack heroes. Also, she fits in well with the original trilogy. I mean, if Scarif can come in with the original trilogy, then I am pretty sure Sabine can, because that's the same sort of timeline. It's not exactly the original 3 movies, original trilogy, but it's that after Order 66, start of the Rebellion era, and yeah, we'd have a light side jetpack hero with dual-wielding pistols, and I just think that would work really, really well, and so I'll be pretty disappointed if we don't get Sabine at all, but I'm not expecting to have her revealed with this community transmission, although I hope there's some sort of hint to her being added. We don't have any Rebels characters in the game, and I feel like that's kind of a shame. Rebels, while not a perfect show, is a part of Star Wars canon, and I think it needs to be respected if we're also going to respect things like Rise of Skywalker, Rogue One, Last Jedi, and the Solo movie. A lot of people have been talking about Jyn Erso and Krennic, but I honestly find those to be kind of lame choices. Not only have we already seen them before, there's not much you can do with them, whereas Sabine would bring a new element to the light side, and I personally think the Grand Inquisitor would make a way cooler villain than Krennic. Rogue One would get a nod with Scarif, and then Rebels would get a nod with Sabine and the Grand Inquisitor. That would be my ideal setup. The Grand Inquisitor could sort of do the unrelenting advance thing, similar to General Grievous, but instead of with, 2 lightsabers, he would do it with his 1 spinny helicopter blade, and I think that'd be kind of cool to see. He'd be proficient in saber throwing and defensive tactics. I could sit here and talk about all the different heroes I'd want from this era, but that's really my ideal, is Sabine Wren and the Grand Inquisitor from Star Wars Rebels. So I watched a video with some people talking about how they might add a rebel pilot as a reinforcement for the rebellion. I think that's a really dumb idea, mostly due to the fact that, well, it's a pilot. Like, they don't do things on the ground, so unless the reinforcement is an X-Wing or an A-Wing, I don't understand the logic. Yeah, they could just have it be a rebel pilot with a really powerful blaster, but there's no point in doing that. That's really lazy in my opinion. And the idea of an Ewok reinforcement, in my opinion, is kind of stupid. I'm sorry, I know this game is sort of a hodgepodge of all things Star Wars, but in my opinion, Ewok just doesn't have anything to offer. A small, hard-to-hit target would just also be kind of annoying to fight, and I don't know, I don't see it being added. I don't want it added, really. It wouldn't hurt the game, but would not be my first choice at all. What I would love to see is a Bothan spy. The Resistance got the Catholic spy, so I have no problem with the Rebels getting a Bothan spy. I don't think anybody else would either. It would be a nice callback to the original Pandemic Battlefront games, and also, again, if this can be a reinforcement, then I think this can. And for the Empire side, I would love to see the Incinerator Trooper. As we know, they are canon. They were once just a Force Unleashed thing, and are now a part of the Mandalorian, and Mandalorian is canon, so give us the Incinerator Trooper. I think that would be fantastic. Another thing that I would love to see is more customizations for Rebels and Imperials. I want more face and gender options for my Rebels, and I don't mean like more genders, I just mean like I want to be able to switch the gender of every class for my Rebellion. If I could get a skin that looks like this, I would gladly spend 50,000 credits on this. I don't need to go in depth with Imperial skins. It's been talked about to death. There are so many different types of stormtroopers out there. There's really no reason that we can't have at least half as many options for our Imperial stormtroopers as we have for our Republic clone troopers. I feel like that's fair. Even just different colored pauldrons for my stormtroopers would make all of the difference for me. A shadow trooper for the specialist class, the commander for the officer, or this type of commander maybe for assault, and then this for heavy, and just with those options, I would just be a lot happier playing as the Imperials. Other than those things, I really just want more infantry blasters. I hope that we get some news on that soon. That would really make the game better overall for all eras. Take every default blaster in the game, give them 3 modifications and their own stats, and while that would be quite the little project, it would still be better than just adding in new blasters on top of the existing ones. Use your existing default blasters, like the E11 or the E5 or the DC-15A. Take them, give them their own stats and their own modifications, and then allow everybody to use them all the time. I can play as a clone trooper fighting droids with one of the new like EL-16 HFE blasters that the Resistance use. I can use that. That's apparently fine for this game, but I, for some reason, am not allowed to go and play as a stormtrooper with a DC-15A. Give each blaster their own stats and modifications, and then the game would suddenly have 24 new blasters. I would love an update that only includes that, but if I could just get some intel on that from DICE, that would be incredible. Visually, there'd be some repetition because some of the standard issue blasters are also featured as customizable blasters, so maybe you could either leave those out or still just do stat changes or different modifications for them, but I am pretty sure everybody could get behind this. DICE is not obligated to add everything from the Star Wars universe into Battlefront 2, but you have to understand why people seem to be requesting just that. This game is a mess of everything that has to do with Star Wars. So when Darth Maul doesn't have a hooded skin or Ahsoka isn't in the game, people get sort of pissy. And I get why. But at the same time, we can't expect them to pour everything from the Star Wars universe into this game. No matter how much fun we would have with it, there is a point where too much content is too much content. This game already has some quantity over quality issues in my opinion, so we do have to be careful with what we are requesting. And coming off demanding isn't going to help anyone, but those are things I would love to see in the next update, or at least see talked about in the near future. I am really glad that I got into Battlefront 2 right as this paradigm shift is happening and more content's coming out, and honestly I just see the game getting better on the horizon. I really hope that EA allows DICE to make this the best game it can be before, in my opinion, what the worst case scenario would be, which is EA trying to pump out Battlefront 3, pulling support away from this game and forcing us to buy a new product altogether. So let's hope that doesn't happen, and I thank you for getting to this point in the video. If you made it to this point in the video, God bless you. May the Force be with you. I will see you when I see you. Goodbye. Oh.